Hello and welcome to Cycles of Time, your weekly guide to what's happening on Earth as we make our revolutionary journey around the sun. For time immemorial, our human ancestors have created myths and meanings to help us adapt and thrive as seasons change. Join me each week to explore the intersections of these ancient cycles, from the indigenous medicine wheel to the pagan wheel of the year, the Babylonian and Greek zodiac to the I Ching, the ancient Chinese book of changes. I'm your host, Alison Dale, and this is the Cycles of Time podcast. Welcome to Cycles of Time. I'm your host, Alison Dale of Astrosomatics, and this is the Wheel of the Year, Week 2, Neptune in Aries, the Dream Hunter. This is your weekly forecast for March 30th to April 5th, and the highlights are Neptune entering Aries after 14 years in Pisces, and the Sun transiting through the human design gate of the Hunter and Huntress, gate 21. In the medicine wheel, we're in the direction east, spring. In the Wuxing cycle, the 5-element cycle, we're in the element wood. We're in the pagan season of Ostara, the zodiac season of Aries, the moon phase waxing, the I Ching hexagram and human design gate 21 from March 30th to April 1st, and that is known as biting through, or the gate of the hunter and huntress. And then the Sun enters 51, which is shock, thunder over thunder. So if last week's eclipse felt like a lightning bolt through your perception of reality, this week makes the beginning of an even bigger shift, one that's going to ripple through our lives for years to come. Neptune, the great cosmic dream weaver, is leaving Pisces after 18 years and stepping into the fiery and self-determined realm of Aries on March 30th. Meanwhile, the Sun is moving through human design gate 21, known as the gate of the Hunter and Huntress, which brings a potent theme of sovereignty, control, and the pursuit of our desires this week. So let's dive in. What does it mean when the planet of illusion, spirituality, and transcendence meets the sign of raw instinct and bold action? And how does gate 21, the Hunter, weave into the story, urging us to take the reins of our own destiny? Let's talk about Neptune leaving Pisces. It's really the end of an era this week. So for the past 14 years, since 2011, Neptune has been at home in Pisces. Neptune's the modern ruler of Pisces. And that is the sign of dreams, intuition, and boundlessness. This transit of Neptune through Pisces has amplified collective spirituality, creativity, and empathy. And it's also blurred the lines between truth and illusion. You can think of the rise of mass media narratives, the explosion of digital escapism and doom scrolling, and the ways in which we've all grappled with discernment in a world of misinformation and fake news. Neptune in Pisces has been a tide pulling us into the collective unconscious, and it's urging surrender, compassion, and faith in the unseen. But now, the dream is shifting. Neptune in Aries is igniting the fire of individualism and individual vision. The veil of Pisces is lifting, and we're being asked to define our own truth, to take what we've learned about oneness and the blurring of boundaries and apply it to our own personal individual path. This is no longer about losing ourselves in the ocean. It's about walking forward onto the shore as the hero in our own personal mythology. Neptune in Aries is a new era of spiritual pioneering. So when Neptune moves into Aries, the dreamy and dissolving nature of Neptune is going to meet Aries' warrior-like energy. And this is a bold new era of spiritual independence, where we're being called to forge our own connection to the divine, rather than relying on external structures or ideologies. In the coming years, we can expect to see a rise in personal spiritual leadership. So instead of seeking external gurus, which is associated with Pisces and the age of Pisces, More people may feel empowered to trust their own intuition and their own experience as sacred. Inner resourcing is going to be key. There's also likely to be a shift in collective inspiration. Aries thrives on movement and momentum, and so this could mark an era where spirituality is less about passive meditation and transcendent spaces, and more about embodiment and immanence and action and courageous self-expression. It's the end of passive dreaming and the beginning of active creation. So Neptune in Pisces might have encouraged surrender to something larger than yourself, but Aries is a little more impatient and is saying, enough waiting, let's make it happen. There's an undeniable fire here, and it's up to us to wield it wisely. Neptune in Aries can bring heightened ideological conflicts, spiritual egotism, or disillusionment with old belief systems as well. And so the challenge is embracing personal power without falling into self-righteousness. And that's going to be a big challenge over the coming years. Neptune will be in Aries until 2039. So that feels like a long time from now. We've got a lot. It's one of these big planets. It's out there with Pluto. And so Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next 20 years, and Neptune will be in Aries for the next 14. And so, yeah, we definitely have some more time to talk about this transit and how it's going to unfold, but it's going to initiate this coming March 30th. So exciting times, big changes ahead. Along with that, I'd love to talk about the sun this week is transiting to gate 21 for the majority of the week up until Saturday. And the theme here with the gate of the hunter and huntress is claiming sovereignty. So as Neptune crosses this cosmic threshold into Aries, the sun's moving into the gate of the hunter and the huntress. And this energy is all about control and authority and self-sufficiency, which really aligns well with this bold individualism of the planet of dreams shifting into the sign of independent warrior spirit. Gate 21 speaks to our relationship with power. It's how we claim it, how we wield it, and where we may still be giving it away. So with this energy of gate 21 in play this week, you can ask yourself, where am I taking ownership of my path and where am I waiting for permission? Also, am I in control of my resources, my time, my energy, my finances, or is something external dictating my choices? How can I step into leadership in my own life without trying to dominate others? It's kind of recognition of leading from behind as you go out hunting, recognizing the importance of the interconnection of all beings and not just seeking to dominate. This week is about realizing that personal power isn't about controlling everything, and it's really about mastering yourself. And it's interesting that the sun will be here when Neptune transits into Aries, because there's a lot of similar themes between these different energies. In the gene keys, gate 21 corresponds to gene key 21, which moves through the frequencies of control, which is the shadow frequency, authority, which is the gift frequency, and valor, which is the siddhi. So the shadow of control here this week could be a struggle with control issues, trying to dominate situations, or else feeling powerless or oscillating between the two. There's an underlying fear of chaos here, which leads to micromanagement or resistance to external authority. If we transcend that fear of chaos and don't try to control every situation or dominate every situation, we arrive at the gift of authority, which when we're in this state, this energy expresses as healthy leadership. It's all about stepping into your personal power and making decisive choices and leading with integrity instead of fear, recognizing that chaos is inherent in the world. over the past couple of gates of Aries season, we've gone from innocence into opinions. So we've gone from being a baby lamb to a young ram that's looking around and finding patterns in the environment. And now we arrive at this, okay, my horns are growing in and there's other rams out there that might want to fight me. And so it's kind of how we understand that energy. If we feel like we have to meet it by butting heads, or if we can meet it with a certain degree of internal integrity and authority over the situation that doesn't require dominance. At the city level of valor, this gate embodies true sovereignty, and it's standing true to your own authority without needing to exert control over others. I like the word valor. I feel like it's not used very commonly in our culture, at least in my world, but the sense of valor, I think of a young ram who's just grown his horns in, standing up on top of a mountain after kind of a little headbutting match and being like, okay, I think I'm getting a little bit more of an understanding about what this world is all about. So with the sun transiting through and highlighting this energy, it's an important time to reflect on our relationship to control. Where do we feel the need to dominate, and where do we need to claim our own internal authority instead? And again, this is very, very poignant when it comes to Neptune entering Aries, because, Aries is going to be an energy that we're going to be working with for 14 more years. Saturn will also be moving into Aries soon for the 3-year transit, 2.5-year transit that Saturn makes through each sign. And so we definitely are going to have a lot of this energy with Aries to contend with. So yeah, this week brings a really fascinating interplay between Neptune's big spiritual vision and the gate of the hunter's pragmatic leadership energy. There's going to be a lot of focus on Neptune this week, lots of people talking about it. And I currently live on my Neptune line in astrocartography, and I'm experiencing my Neptune square. And so Neptune has been a planet that I've wanted to deepen my experience and understanding of lately, because it can be very, very fluid and very etheric and very misunderstood. And it's kind of about the fine line between dreams and delusion, two sides of the same coin. So Neptune is dreamy and boundless, and, the energy of Gate 21, where the sun is this week in Aries, is structured and commanding, and Neptune is coming into Aries. Neptune is in Gate 25, Innocence, currently, so it's a different piece of the Aries puzzle, but it will, over time, move into this Gate 21 as well in the upcoming several years. So if we look at these energies together, they're really asking us to step into spiritual sovereignty and to align our dreams with a certain decisive action and internal valor. A few ways to work with this energy this week are balancing your visions and your dreams with action. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just want to go right back into dreamland. I tend to dream a lot right when I'm waking up, that time of the morning, for whatever reason, and they call me back in. But lately I've been trying to just roll out of bed and do a couple of push-ups or sun salutations to meet the energy of the moment, because Neptune in Aries for the next 14 years will call for bold spiritual activism. And the energy that we're entering into it with the sun in 21 this week, is ensuring that we manage our energy wisely with our own internal authority and not trying to dominate situations. So it's a week to think about the dreams that you have and avoid chasing every dream without a plan, and instead channeling your inspiration into tangible goals. Another thing that could be helpful this week is to reevaluate control dynamics in your life and in your relationships. Wondering, similarly, eclipse energy last week, it's asking us to release and kind of loosen around dogmas and opinions and control in certain areas of life. We have to ask ourselves where we're giving away our power in situations where we could be taking the lead, and just thinking about where leadership is calling us at this moment in time. There is a role for everyone in the resistance and the revolution, and not everyone has to be a leader, especially leading from the front, but there's other ways to lead. And there's internal leadership and there's leading from behind. And so just thinking about how leadership shows up in your life this week would be a really good meditation to do. And then finally, embodying your authority this week. It's a powerful moment to trust yourself. It's a powerful upcoming several years or several decades to trust in yourself. And if you're feeling insecure or like you're not trusting in yourself, then some practices to center yourself and to ground into a place of stability that isn't necessarily being fed by the outside world is the direction that we're heading. So whether it's in career or relationships or your spiritual path or in organizing or however you're showing up, this is a week to step into leadership with courage and with clarity, where it's kind of stepping out of innocence of the spring equinox and out of the beginning of the year. It's really a time, we're in a time, and we're out of the eclipse portal, but we're still feeling the effects of that Aries eclipse. And with Neptune moving into Aries the day after, it's really just, there's a lot of Aries energy in the field right now. And it's really about waking up from the dream and doing the sun salutation, even if you're still in a half asleep state and you're not quite ready to get moving, like put the coffee on and then do a sun salutation. But yeah, just think about this week. What visions have been floating around in this dreamy state of Pisces season and Neptune in Pisces for the past decade plus? And yeah, take a moment this week to write them down. Write down what dreams came through and how they're surfacing now that we're waking up out of that Piscean primordial soup and really beginning to emerge as individualized organisms into the world. So yeah, say them out loud. Take a step towards your dreams. It's time to actively manifest. And owning your power is really important in this time. Gate 21 basically says be the hunter, not the hunted. And so if you can identify one area of your life where you can take back control, where you've given your power away, whether it's your schedule or your creative energy or your boundaries and relationships, this is a good week to do that. And the shadow side of Neptune and Aries that we will certainly discover over the coming years is that fueling of a spiritual egotism. And gate 21, the energy of this week, can definitely also be prone to power struggles and just resistance to authority or resistance to kind of anybody else telling you what to do. So be mindful of where your desire for independence actually turns into a deep stubbornness and where your confidence might cross into control. There are fine lines right there for sure. I know this energy very well. So channel your energy of this Aries ingress wisely. Aries is a beautiful sign of courage and initiation. And if you feel a new impulse stirring in you, a little seed that wants to break open and sprout into this new season, don't ignore it. But just think about, before charging forward, taking a breath, grounding yourself in clarity, and thinking about the long-term vision, not just the immediate reaction. So brave new world, brave new beginnings right now. And this week is powerful, stepping out of those dreamy, fluidic waters of Neptune in Pisces and just into forging ourselves in the fire of Neptune in Aries. So it's time to claim our path, claim our role in the revolution, trust our instincts, and step forward with courage. The wheel of the year keeps on turning, and the call of the huntress is clear. She says, this is your journey. Own it. Thanks for being here for another week in the cycles of time as we walk the wheel of the year together. Each week I put out a forecast where We look at the astrological and human design, I Ching, gene keys, gates, as well as the elemental seasons of the year from the whooshing cycle, the medicine wheel, and the pagan wheel of the year, and really just see how these energies are showing up on a week-to-week basis. So if you like what you heard today, please share this with a friend or click the subscribe button or leave a comment. I always love hearing from you. And if you're interested in going a little deeper, I do have a paid subscription that is a month to month for the price of a fancy coffee, and it's called Embody the Revolution. It includes a lot of goodies, including live breathwork sessions, a PDF workbook to journal about how these energies are showing up for you, a community reflection call where we all get together and talk about these energies on a week by week basis at the end of the season, and a calendar to add to your Google. There's so much in there. It's totally worth checking out. So you can find that on my website at astrosomatics.com or on Substack. I'm at Astrosomatics. So it's been lovely to talk to you today as we welcome Neptune in Aries and this dawning of a new era. Have a beautiful week ahead.